Vice President of the Texas Public Policy Foundation joins us now. Chuck, what was the problem on Easter? They didn't like the paperwork, so they were threatening to let them out on their own recognizance?
Well, evidently, the paperwork wasn't processed quickly enough for the liking of the judge, which, of course, is a principle in U.S. jurisprudence, right? But you would have expected that the district attorneys, deputy DAs would have worked over Easter to process the paperwork to meet the judge's requirement. So, yeah, we almost had a pretty big slip up here with a bunch of people getting away.
All right, good. So let's hope it ends up working out. El Paso County Court of Migrants returned to ICE custody obtained by the New York Post. Quote, all individuals allegedly involved in the March 21st border breach and federal detainers filed by Immigration and Customs Enforcement to have them returned to custody once released from state custody. All right, good. So next, in New Orleans, they start talking again about SB 4 and deliberating on whether Texas can do this on their own border. What is the time frame? How many days of arguments will we see? When can we find out if you guys can implement this law?
Well, a very complex case, a lot of back and forth, of course, in the Fifth Circuit. I'd imagine you're going to see something definitive within a month. And of course, it will be immediately appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. And who knows whether or not there's going to be a final determination before the election in November. The bottom line is that Texas is asserting traditional powers that states have, state sovereignty to protect the health and welfare of their citizens. And so Governor Greg Abbott is merely doing what governors have done in the past in Texas and other states.
That's the argument, and let's hope this judge, normally a conservative court, while they argue and deliberate, will allow you implement this law. Meanwhile, 326,000 illegal immigrants, according on President Biden's top secret flight program, where you fill out in another country an app, you come to the border, they fly you into this country secretly. Guess where most of the illegal immigrants are going after they fill out this little app? Texas and Florida. What's your take on that?
Well, the bottom line is what the lawless Democrats under Biden are doing they're trying to hide the ball. They're trying to prevent any sort of significant visual image from these masses of individuals backing up at the border. That's what they don't want at all costs. And so what's happening is they're using this CBP One app. It's an app on the phone. They fill it out. They can fly directly into America. Now, they're still illegal aliens when they do so. But by flying directly into mostly Florida, what they get is they get no crowds at the border or a significant reduction of crowds at the border, because that's what they want to avoid. They don't want those visuals because Americans strongly disapprove of the Biden border crisis.
So people should understand at home, as bad as the border looks, they are flying people over the border into Miami, 326,000, Houston, 21,000, Los Angeles, 8,000 plus, San Francisco, 4,000 plus, and they're here already. The whole point, Chuck, of this program originally was you apply in the country you're in or the first one you step into. We don't fly you here and then deliberate your status. It's insanity.
It is insanity. And let's go back to the riot in El Paso. What you didn't see in those videos was you didn't see any Border Patrol agents. And that's because they're so busy processing the illegal aliens that are violating our laws that the only people who were on the border were Texas National Guard and Texas Department of Public Safety troopers. All the Border Patrol were in processing. Now, Brian, this is a new policy that reverses something that was put in place 31 years ago. It was called Hold the Line, where we would directly turn back into Mexico people that were crossing between the ports of entry. Biden overturned that program, and that's why you're seeing the riot at the border, and that's why you're seeing the increasing chaos at the border.
And he's saying because the Republicans walked away from the legislation, that was their chance to fix things, so it's not his problem anymore. Thankfully, by the polls, no one's buying that. Chuck DeVore, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Straight ahead.